Hello, comrade. On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we will be talking about LostBelt 1 and also many news, much news. Hi, hello, I am Comrade Omega. I am one of hosts. With me, as always, Comrade Lucky, and also joining a special guest today, Comrade Dog.
Comrade Dog, I need you to speak on behalf of the fatherland. Come. Comrade Dog is silent. Anyway, I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka A Farewell to Winter. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest NFGO related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should cancel everything. Yeah, it's still topical.
So I'm going to double up and reinforce the spoiler warning. So, this is episode 130. This will be the LostBelt 1 pregame. And because that's a really good episode to do it on, both the 130 and the LostBelt 1 thing, this is live to public because we haven't done one of those in a while. And, you know, it feels appropriate. We got a lot of people in the lockdowns, in the quarantines, so we figured we'd do something nice and hang out. So thank you so much for everyone who tuned in live, and thank you so much for people watching it on YouTube later, even though. And if you hear us responding to chat a lot, not that we don't do that a lot anyway, that's why. So
apparently, my attempts was in. Sorry, I'm looking at our chat right now, and apparently, my attempts for a Russian accent is Italian. God damn it! How does it sound to you, Omega?
It sounded sufficiently Russian, or at least my 70s communist accent, anyway.
I don't know what a fucking Russian is. I think you just like don't you just like hello? No, actually, no, I don't. Now that I'm trying to actually think about a Russian accent,
I just channel my inner commie. Nuclear vessel. Vodka. Vodka. Da, comrade.
Hey,
send you to Gulag.
Comrade. I don't fucking know. Yeah,
hey,
that's
Nico, it's your cousin.
It's your cousin. I don't know. That's fucking like.
They could be a little
Eastern
close.
European bloc.
Anyway, hi. We're doing the show. So, now's a good time for me to mention that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Argo Comics, Blacklist OG, Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Nestor Flores, Rogue Robin, Shawnee P, Sodasono424, and Video Gamer 75. And if you like what we do and want to see us do more, you should consider supporting us on Patreon. You can access episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
And
you
everybody
up
who
at the
just listens to that live knows that is not accelerated artificially.
No,
I can actually say it that fast.
Yeah, and I guess you were trying to prove it because I was like, I didn't actually have my monster in hand at the time. I had the 4-pack, and then I heard you speeding up. I was like, shit!
Well, so I'm a little slow on the names because we're up to 10 people now, and that we've inserted a couple people into my alphabetization, so I have to be slow on it. So I try to compensate. I appreciate when I can get that under. Okay, so now that we've got all our immediate intro stuff out of the way, I guess it's time for us to check in with everybody's favorite Kohai real quick.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our regular segment for pro tips. So we're entering the time period of LostBelts, everyone. It's really happening. We're really here. So it's important to keep up with them when you can, because you've got, I'd say, pretty even odds that every event will either be you need the latest story cleared, or you need just Fuyuki like usual. So if you want to make sure you can actually take part in events, you'll need to make sure you're keeping up on the latest LostBelts. For instance, Halloween this year will require you to have cleared LostBelt 2, which obviously means you need to have cleared LostBelt 1. So there's a couple of things you need to take off your to-do list. And it's very important because that gives you Oni Cure, which is great. That's just real great game, thanks. It only took you 4 years. But there will be more frequent half APs. In fact, I think JP's doing some half AP shit right now. And we're doing half AP on main, or quarter AP on main quests. So you should be able to catch up pretty well, and events will warn you when they need you to put in the work, but just keep it in mind. So since the game's been out a little while and we may have newer listeners, I would like to remind everybody of a general strategy. If you're struggling, remember to diversify your units, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, because sometimes the game will have very specific counters to it, as we will see later in today's episode when I talk about LostBelt bosses, which are not super cray, but man, some of them are really like, fuck your shit. There's one boss in particular that brings back a couple of gimmicks from some infamous bosses in other parts of the story. So that'll be great. It's just great. It's the greatest. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. Keep on trekking. You can always count on your friends and supports, obviously. And, just, keep stuff even. and hopefully we get that update where they start adding materials to all the main story quest clears soon, because those look pretty generous. Alright.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my Samsung to flow so I can stream to these many, many wonderful people we have.
Though, luckily, Discord should allow them all to join and actually watch you play.
Well, yeah, if I could get the Samsung phone to work, but, well, I guess a bit of side news here. It's tangentially, related. If Lucky sounds a little weird, like maybe a little bit more echoey or reverberary, it's because Lucky moved within the last week. After a week of self-quarantine, he busted himself making a move, and now he's in a new location. And the room is shaped differently and built differently, and the acoustics is different. But because I moved over all my set, that means I had to unhook everything, and unfortunately, Lucky's memory is shit, so he can't remember how exactly everything went. So, while I think I have my wireless setup set up, it doesn't seem to be working. Not to mention...
yeah, I know that feel.
So I gotta worry about that.
Welcome to troubleshooting, Lucky.
Yeah. Oh no, there's plenty of troubleshooting, Lucky. There was floor Lucky a couple weeks before that when I was trying to fix my computer.
Yep.
That was it. Oh, by the way, other fun bits. Lucky has done his taxes and he is getting a sweet refund, and he has decided that he will buy himself a decent computer with said refund.
Smart move.
Yeah. So,
though that's funny you said that, because I saw, I think just earlier today on Twitter, that the IRS has said that we're pushing back the deadline because people are busy.
Well, I want money meow, right meow.
All right.
I did spend like $100 on Amazon though.
Yeah, I'm trying not to spend money right now because I'm still hurting a little from buying me a new computer. The newest L5R PDF just came out, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to spend, even if it's $25, I don't know if I want to spend that right this second.
Oh shit, we have a tax accountant in right now. I'm terrified. They know things.
Anyway, so that was pro tips. Let's move into Records from the Throne pretty quick. Hey, they're going to be pretty similar. So I did the challenge quest. It's complete.
Discard, I'm going to tell you right now, we cannot write Gotcha off on our taxes unless we basically establish Studio Omega as a business. For them to be a business expense, we have to make this a business. And
yes, we have to be formally incorporated.
Yeah.
Which we are not right now.
Yeah. But, Omega, you said you got your challenge quest complete?
Yep.
That's the same for me. How did you complete it?
I just mashed Merlin Berserkers with John in the back.
As someone who's not subscribed to Merlin strats, mine was a little bit more. I think mine was super. I used Raiko with Tamamo and Waver.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Let's talk it. Loth, that's dangerous thought right there.
Ooh, that's some high level tax bullshit.
Yeah. Lothram of the Borger Valley has said, "Let's talk FGO is clearly religion. You get yourself free from tax." Loth, that's a Loth who plays with us in our Star Wars AP, and who is gonna be ended.
New episode just came out today. Watch it, please.
Yeah.
Though, if we're speaking of watching things, this might be the time for me to mention to people that, as predicted, I talked to all y'all, and y'all were like, "I'll do MHX," and I was like, "Okay, but it's not going to do great," and you were like, "No, it's fine." Nope. It's not really doing that well. It's doing pretty bad, all things considered, for Wanted. So, y'all are not doing the work you said you would. And that does make me less inclined to spend time on it. Now, I will say, overall, because it is a longer video, technically, even though its views are pretty low, it still made us about as much profit, which is not a lot, as a couple of the news desks I've done lately, which is really just telling me I need to do more news desks, because they're shorter and less refined, but still. Not that I can necessarily shit talk the idea of like spending resources appropriately, because I did also just publish a new Enter the Dojo, which is not going to get very many views, and it's way fucking longer than I wanted it to be, but it exists, so we'll see.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, because as soon as you said that, people in our Discord started going, I watched it. And then Emblem just came out of nowhere. How dare KFC not give me a fork? And now all the chat is being like, how dare KFC? And about to start a fucking riot.
That came up in last night Dictionarium, actually, the making the fried chicken.
The fried chicken.
Okay. But yeah, so there's just our report on that. Despite the fact that MHX-A is one of our most popular ones, regular MHX did not do goo. We will continue to see going forward. I guess if I'm looking at predictions, the next one that will be really good must be, I don't know, maybe Benny Enuma? Because
I don't know, you got Anastasia. And...
Well, no, I'm just saying, the all-time winner out of fucking nowhere is Abigail. With over 2K views, like, that one's doing better than some of our episodes of Let's Talk FGO. Kiara jumped up to second place because I think a lot of people were rewatching that one because her banner came back.
Oh yeah, no, Bordeaux Sea Maker I think has it. It's probably gonna be Scotty.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good one. Like Merlin's shockingly a little bit down there. Like I think he's out of the top 5, but he is still pretty high up. Along with Jolter and Dantes actually. So yeah, Scotty's probably going to be another really big one. Though
Oh, you want to get out now?
Gramps is number 3, so if they do that banner, we'll talk about that later in news, that'll probably jump up and might outpace Kiara just because he's popular and he's going to come back. We'll see. Scotty's probably a good one, and I'll have to actually fucking learn how... I'll have to, like, be like, okay, so it's technically Hawk Scotty or something, but I'm not going to bother with that because that's too hard. But yeah, in the grand scale of things, MHX is doing pretty bad. It's at like 500 views, which is hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's just out of the bottom 5. Actually, no, it's not. That's right. So YouTube it would be a little bit higher because YouTube's dates. She's slightly beating Sanzo. Though, if you guys don't watch more of Wanted MHX, when Journey to the West comes back soon, there may be more. I don't know. Achilles might be popular. I think he's got some people like him. Put that on a shirt. People like Achilles. But okay, so we both beat the challenge quests. I gotta say, super refreshed by this challenge quest. It was really very simple. There were not really a lot of bullshit gimmicks. It was just, hey, beat up all the different servants. And I was like, okay, I'll solve this problem real good.
Yeah.
Just ignore bonuses and just clean up.
Actually, I was able to slap the 200% damage CE on my Raikou. And
well, Pogs, what I really hope you watch is I am actually going to, whenever the Zero rerun happens, I am actually going to redo Wanted Iskandar because it's been a while. He's actually gotten buffs. So that's the one you should really make sure to watch. But yeah. Lucky, any further thoughts on the CQ? Lucky, did you die? You might have died in there. Awkward. Unpause, we got Lucky back. I was just asking if you had any more thoughts on the CQ, and then you were gone.
Like I said, honestly, it just sounded like it was pretty simple. It's like, there's a lot of ways to beat it. You didn't need anything. It's like, can you do a lot of damage and consistently? You're fine. You're golden. Golden.
Hey, can I get some goldens in chat?
Woo-hoo! Yeah, trying to use my favorite one.
But okay, let's move into Master Missions. I've picked up my phone and I'm logging in FGO. I'm going to go beat up Skok.
I'm going to go beat up John.
Though I really should probably try and figure out how to beat up UHZ, I guess, for points, because that's really the only thing that I need. But I do want some of that stuff from the currency from the store. There's like feathers and shit in there. But really quickly, let's do Did You Finish Your Master Missions? Hey, these are all pretty simple. They want you to do Saber Wars. So, you need to obtain 50 vacuum tubes. You need to obtain 50 transistors. You need to obtain 50 lenses. You need to obtain 200 currency drops of any variety. You want to complete 5 quests with at least 1 Saber in your party. And you want to complete 10 Saber Wars quests. AKA, do the event!
He's gotten really good at that.
I have a system. Oh, by the way, people have been asking, we'll talk more about our thoughts and stuff, but since I'm looking right at it, I will mention that, point-wise, Omega is at 2,700 right now.
I'm not even that. Holy shit, hang on. Lucky is currently loading while reading...
Listen, I really needed those EXPs. I still need more. Give me more.
I'm not gonna lie, I got through, like, the challenge quest and the story, and I was like, And, well, actually, where are we? We haven't even got to news.
No, we're not even in news, which, by the way, since I have to talk a lot later, if you would read some of the news, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'll give more thoughts later, but let's read the hecking news. So, let's move on down to Skelegrams. As we start off in JP with the Babylonia Anime Campaign 4, running from March 15th to March 22nd. Basically logging for 6 days and get a CE and 12/6. Booyah.
I hope this whole upgrade from 10 to 12 keeps.
Yeah, me too. We got a Gramps, aka Bone Daddy, aka First Hassan. Battle's continuation is upgraded. Now he gets more Buster from it, and if Guts is trigger, he comes back with an even bigger Buster buff and gains some NP. Along with that, we got a First Hassan Summon Bagger with Gramps, Ushi, Jaguar Man on rate up on all times, along with a rotation of Castergill, Gorgon, and Anna.
Yeah, so we were a little bit scooped last week, but kind of not, because we talked about how this had been predicted/data mined, and just it wasn't confirmed as of the time we recorded.
Oh,
But
by the way,
it
for
happened.
those who are curious, Lucky is at 168,000. Now I'm gonna go punch John with head pats.
That's very appropriate to things we're going to talk about later. People
Mhm.
talking in chat. He comes back more mad. By the way, that it's a very big Buster buff, and when it's fully leveled, if you trigger the Guts, he comes back to life with 20% NP, 20% more NP gauge, and 50% Buster for one turn.
Jesus.
Like he mad, he real mad.
Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to perfect my Jean team, and I'm just like, who is gonna be the angry? Oh, I'm just gonna. One's like, what am I talking about? I'm just gonna get fucking Jolter.
Yes. Big Jolter moves.
Big Jolter moves. Okay. So next up, JP, much to the consternation of everyone, we have Hunter Quest 7 running from 7 running from March 16th to March 23rd. Hunt moms for various mats and also 5-star EXPs. This is sometimes used to show off new content, a la Jinako, before it drops, but nothing shocking yet.
I think we're like 5 days in and nothing really weird has happened. No new mobs or anything.
Yeah.
Most people assume this is the build-up because there is a stream scheduled sometime next week? Couple weeks? I don't know. They've got something planned, but that's also probably because they had to cancel their Anime Japan appearance because of reasons.
Ooh.
But as of the moment, no, there's nothing really neat in here. Though, it's oddly relevant to some stuff we're going to discuss later because it involves certain mats and mobs that are going to be introduced again into LostBelt 1.
Now we jump across the Pacific Ocean against the Travel Advisory, and we're going to talk about North America, where this is running an AP campaign running from March 19th to April 2nd. I actually had to count my months there for a second. Like, wait a minute.
Don't worry, I have to do that all the time.
Where basically we have a quarter AP on Part 1 main quests and half AP on Epic of Remnant free quests.
Didn't I once accidentally write a date like there was a 13th month? That sounds like something I did.
I know you did something once where you got
I've done a couple
of
of really dumb things with the date formatting on accident. We're bad with numbers.
Is it Numerica? We're Numerica. The America of numbers. I do not want to live there ever. So, also in North America, we're having a class campaign running from March 19th to April 2nd with a rotation of class-based banners daily. Enkidu also got a new interlude about the time this was announced.
I have not done it yet, but I will in future, I'm sure. I need to take some interlude time, honestly. I got a couple of those built up. I caught up on rank ups during the last bit, but I'm not caught up on interludes right now.
Lucky's way behind. But, so that's that. And also, we got coming up, we have the 1,000 Days Celebration. Running from March 20th to March 20th? Oh yeah, to March 21st. I was like, wait a minute, is it only one day?
Yeah, it's just log in on the 1,000th day for 10 Saint Courts.
Well, it's been 100 days since one of these, so I probably forgot how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the news.
So I don't think I've written anything separate on this, but we did find out a little bit more about the stream that is happening next week for NA, which is that, because they talked about how Minami Tanaka would be a guest, and also Nissan's going to be there.
Nice.
But it's, I believe, pre-recorded, and they filmed it in Japan, so they sent Albert to Japan.
I wonder if he's stuck there.
Oh, I kind of hope not, because he's kind of, I mean, he can probably work from not home, but I kind of hope they got him back.
Well, as I said, well, actually, this will dovetail right into the first topic of our Chaldea Free Talk, which continues the theme of everything is fucking canceled. So, in the past week, I've gotten reports that SakuraCon, my local con, has been canceled. Other cons, like A-Con, which is I think the third biggest anime convention in the U.S., has been delayed,
Because
if
everything's
not
bigger
canceled.
in Texas.
It is. Now, just today, we got news that the Heaven's Feel premiere over in Los Angeles has been canceled because California is completely shut down. I think they actually have a shelter, what they call a shelter-in-place policy going.
Yes, it's basically literally everything is closed. You do not go out unless you absolutely have to. Only essentials are open, and even then, limit how many people are there at a time.
Yeah.
Florida is doing something not quite that bad, but we are also, because there's a lot of assholes still out on the beaches for spring break. It's bars and nightclubs are closed for 30 days. Restaurants are at 50% capacity. And
I like how
beach
your
parties
governor
should
is
be...
basically telling people, go the fuck home, and people aren't listening.
I gotta be honest. This is Florida. I'm kind of shocked. We're not just like pushing them into the sea. Oh, they want to be on the beaches. Close the beaches. Let them have it. When's hurricane season start? We'll just leave them there.
Just close the gate and just have someone stand over it and just be like, let them fight.
This is now a quarantine zone. Congratulations. Yes, we make grim jokes in the darkness of the future. Because, like I said earlier, it's a little. It's not super bad, but it's a little bad. Mostly, it's just a little crazy right now.
Honestly, I think, like, not to talk. Well, I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit about your fucking state. Considering how many disasters, like hurricanes and whatnot, I thought your people would be a little bit more on top.
Well, here's the thing. We are on top, and most Floridians are probably staying in their homes, especially because a lot of them are old. It's all those assholes who are like, we're not going to let Corona stop us from Miami spring break. We've had this trip planned for 2 months. Those are the people who are dumb, especially because they're traveling from outside. So, like, obviously, we could probably completely fuck their shit up, but tourism is this whole big industry down there, so, you know, you gotta be careful. Like, I know Disney World's completely shut up, which they had to do because people would not go to Disney World, you know. But yeah, we live in very confusing times and very concernicus times, and just, it's not gonna be that not crazy for a while. Like, it's gonna be weird, and stuff's gonna be happening, so everybody stay safe out there, and play it cool. And try not to be part of the problem. And I am definitely not just vamping because Lucky probably died because he seemed like he was in the middle of saying something back there. He is, in fact, alive right now, fighting a shark. You just can't see it. We're going to let... several people are typing in chat. We're going to have some funny stuff. Yeah.
I died again.
That's okay. I vamped. I was just telling people not to be stupid. So, is there anything else about Cancel stuff we want to talk about? Probably not.
Okay, now I gotta see why people are, like, shark lucky. Hang on, I have to scroll up here.
Oh, I have something I said in the audio while I was vamping. I said that you were fighting a shark. You were not, in fact, dead. You were busy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like...
Well, okay, I don't think we mentioned this yet. One important thing about the premiere is that the Orphe Theater premiere was canceled, but also Fathom Events is canceling or pushing back their releases as well.
Well, they say they aren't canceling, they're pushing back, but they don't have a date for when.
No. This is much like the shenanigans Amazon tried to pull with Final Fantasy VII, where they were like, we don't know if we're going to be able to get it to you, and then Square Enix was like, we're doing everything in our power to make sure you get the game on time. And then Amazon was like, everybody's getting their games on time. We don't know what happened there, but something happened. Literally, we all in the community were like, oh shit, I got an email that's saying they don't know when it's going to arrive. And then as Square Enix like put out a tweet, and then the next day we all got emails that Amazon was like, it's going to be on time.
I want to imagine that there was just some big corporate espionage and war behind our backs that no one knew of.
I still like my version where just Square Enix just emitted an agitated skeleton noise, and Amazon was like, okay, nope, it's fine. They just felt the creeping death sitting on their shoulders, and they're just like, nope, it's fine, we're Amazon. We'll have robots do it. We love robots.
I echoed that sentiment in a tweet. Let me post it for people.
Yeah, agitated skeleton streak.
I retweet so much titty. Fuck.
Oh my god, no, I can't throw any shade.
Where did I put it?
Like, what's my profile look like right now? Me and my 188 followers. It's mostly me retweeting myself or retweeting lots of art. And by retweeting myself, I mean retweeting the studio account. Because I don't know if we have a 1-to-1 coverage. This whole Pixiv/Twitter top 3 trend has been pretty good lately.
No, wait. I can find it.
We're bringing some classic caps back in the chat.
Cute sexy robots, why do you do what you do? Cute sexy robots, draw me a Tiamat, please. I will die.
Cool.
There's
Powerful.
There's me being about... Actually, I'm gonna share this one too, just because I think I'm...
Has it Raita drawn a Tiamat?
I believe so. I think didn't he draw like Housewife Tiamat?
Probably. Raita's drawn lots of things. Raita likes to draw.
Or was that Wada Arco?
Both of them are pretty high level. Like, I would say that they are on a similar level of horny energy to CSR. So I guess we just need to say CSR draws a servant win.
I feel like they have. Oh, I do know that Raita drew a fucking Gorgon, and it's great.
Raita has drawn many things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I can triple buster with Saber Lily. That's cool.
Okay, this is back in March 15th. I know I made this tweet earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got
Alright, I can't find it. I'm sorry, I am drowning in Narmea and Tiamat and animation stuff here.
I'm pretty sure I can find it because you favorited my response tweet, didn't you?
Oh yeah, wait, that means I can probably go to my alerts. Yep, and because you retweeted it, I found it immediately.
There you go. Cooperation.
Yep.
And then I think my reply is going to be under it when it's just that gif.
Yep.
Okay, well, we delayed enough about that.
Faffing.
Though I will say, it's pretty easy to understand why, because in the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about how cool and rad the Orphe Theater is, which is unfortunately a really bad thing in this time.
Yeah.
You don't want to cram a lot of people into a closed space in public.
I'm pretty sure if one person coughed in it, there'd be mayhem.
It's just like one, and then it's just, the Kill Bill sirens go off, and just that guy gets tackled by dudes in hazmat suits. He's got the virus!
Well, herd immunity takes time to go into effect.
Nobody's immune right now.
Yeah.
We're not at that step. Nobody has gotten it and not enough people have gotten it and gotten better. And also, there may be a couple strains of the novel coronavirus.
Yeah, it's been called Coronavirus 2, as if it's a fucking sequel.
But yeah, it's a thing. So let's move into everybody's favorite topic. That's a lie. This notation is literally written in the notes as open bracket. Everybody hates Saber Wars, close bracket. AKA, hey, how's Saber Wars going for everybody? The general conclusion seems to be not poorly, but not great. Like, I don't know if people are really struggling with this event, I guess is the word, but maybe generally people are not happy.
Hang on, I'm gonna try Samsung Flow again so you can see my attempts. But, like, as I said, like, I have been putting, like, the literal absolute minimum effort into this event. I did the story, I did the challenge quest, I'm about to start,
you still got, like, a week.
Farming, and yeah, I still got a fucking week, and I'm just all like, I just really want the XPs, maybe get some foes. I'm really not concerned about the point ladder.
Yeah, it's not great. Like I said, I want a couple of the extra quartz, but they're also giving us some extra stuff, so it's like, I'm gonna break 200 before LostBelt 1.
You know, when I get my new computer, it will have a Bluetooth adapter in it, and I'm not gonna have to worry about this bullshit anymore. So, sorry guys, I was gonna do this for you guys, but unless I'm gonna play something like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna be off theme and play Arc Knights or Azure Lane on my computer.
Damn it, Skahawk, why do you keep dropping evades?
And I need to make I need to thop. Yes, I need to thop. I don't know what the fuck was I trying to say? Well, I need to draw up a thumbnail. Oh wait, that's what I was trying to say thumbnail up and draw all at once. And it turns out to thop. God damn it, Lucky.
Yes. But yeah, so people are not happy about Saber Wars, even though, like I said, it's not hard. It's just frustrating. So usually when they do these new events, they do some fucking quality of life in there. There's not really any quality of life to Saber Wars. The bonus servants are all still sabers. It's just now your new gold sabers have the same bonus as your old gold sabers. So if you don't have the on par gold sabers or MHX, it still sucks. They did not add MHXA, which really hurts. She would have been great as a bonus servant on account of being a berserker. So you could take her everywhere because this has a problem where all the bonus servants are sabers, but the nodes are not all lancers, and also they're mixed class. So it sucks ass. And also, there's a lot of HP in this event, right? There's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there's a shitload of attack buffs in this event, too. You can get party-wide, you can get individuals, up of 100%. You can get a lot of fucking attack out of this event. It's kind of like raids in that sense, but it's still very tedious. So this is obviously them, working on some game design shit, and it really shows.
Oh, I found the one I was talking about. I don't know if you guys have this one, but I'm gonna post it for you guys.
Oh, is it good?
Yep. I'm going through my thumbnails to see if I have First Hassan on the thumbnail already, because Lucky doesn't like to repeat.
We have probably used Gramps before, but I don't know if you used him in the new thumbs.
Yeah, so
it's been a little bit since he's had a read-up-o.
Yep.
There is that new, let me...
Oh, wait, I didn't mean to do that.
Let me grab it and link it for you. There is that new CE that's coming with the Babylonia campaign.
I'm probably gonna use that. Also, fun fact, the first of these new thumbs was, July 12th, 2019, so probably not. I'm actually just going through them all now and looking. Because I keep them all.
Yep, so do I. I keep them in two versions. I keep the originals that you send me in full def, and then I have my final versions, which are posted, which are usually shrunk a little bit and have some extra details.
Oh, interesting. I did use Gramps. I used Gramps on November 8th, 2019. What was that? It also had let's see here. It has it has 2 CEs on it.
It's probably Nerofest then.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because it has MXX in that with legs. And Luvia doing push-ups with Taiga on her back. Were those sound like they would be NeroQuest CEs? Oh fuck, alright. That one's a little less resolution than I like. Anyway, so I guess I won't be using Gramps.
Yeah, actually, if it was November, that might be a little late for it. Was that a million downloads campaign with Gramps then?
Oh, everyone's saying it was Saber Wars 2.
Oh, so that must have been
it must have been an anime campaign
or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
that is one thing I don't like about this Windows version is that just pulling up fucking photo viewer is really slow. I don't know why. That one worked. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's Saber Wars 2, and then Final Ascension Gramps, which is from something. Was that his previous read up? Yeah.
Alright, well, now I gotta go think.
I have posted though the new CE, which has both Ishtar and Aresh, and their legs in it.
I'll get the Ku and Skahawk CE. We're still in Saber Wars.
That's fair. That's a good one too.
Yeah, it is.
Damn it, Skahawk, you've paralyzed Nero. But it's her turn. Why would you do this to me?
Because she knows.
Yeah. Gabe alternative stun is kind of a pain in the butt. Anyway, I think we've trash talked Saber Wars enough.
Yeah. Like as I said, my only goal is to really get the XPs and maybe some foes and maybe the mats. I'm not going hard on the points ladder. I'm not going hard on anything. I'm just kind of meh on everything right now. I've been too busy. I honestly have.
Exists. And I've been kind of busy too. I try to do my reps to get all the XPs and stuff because I still got some servants to level and we'll probably have more in the future. But I'm honestly pretty set for most mats and stuff, so it's not as big of a deal. I appreciated going from 60 to 80 night medals, but that's about it. I've spent some of my skill points.
Lothram, why do you have that saved as one of my quotes? This confuses me.
Well, Leard, I'm gonna have over 200 Saint Courts, so... So we'll see. We'll see how hard I go. I'm gonna do some rolling. We'll see how bad it makes me feel. That's usually how I approach rolls. Unless it's a 100% must-have, like an Ishtar or an Aresh Kigal or Mordred Summer, where it's I will literally die, damn you. I will fight you to the last breath. I will fight you on the beaches. I will fight you on the shores. Unless it's that bad, it's usually, we're gonna roll a couple times and we're gonna see how awful I feel about me. Hey, speaking of, that banner with Atalante Altar and Anastasia, it's time to do the LostBelt 1 pregame.
Ta-da!
I'm going to reiterate my spoiler warning. If you want to approach this as fresh as possible, duck out now, skip around a little. You have time codes in the final release version, so, you'll be able to actually skip past this part. But, let's begin. So, the Anastasia release is our first real kickoff to part 2. The fucking opening screen hasn't even changed, even though we had the prologue already. Heck. Before we even get to the story beats, it should launch with a lot of new stuff. We'll have a new Mystic Code, the Arctic Mystic Code. We'll have new materials will be added, permafrost and gunpowder. And, if things go according to plan, we will get all new 1- and 2-star CEs. You'll be able to keep your old ones, but they will no longer appear in-game, and you'll get some new ones. Because I'm reasonably sure those aren't implemented yet. But there is some other stuff, too, that we've already gotten, like, in JP, this was when Bronze Servants refreshed all their banner art, but we got that already. There's supposed to be a MASH animation update. I don't know if we got that already or if that's her second. I'm not 100% sure. No, 3 stars are fine. It's only the bronze ones left, which mostly sucked. They don't not suck in the future, just they're going to be weird. And we'll talk about all that in more detail when they actually come out. This is just me letting you know, LostBelt 1's release is a big deal in terms of mechanics. Like, they're going to pull out a lot of stuff. And so, obviously, fair warning, to actually do LostBelt 1, you have to complete the Part 1 prologue, duh. But just make sure you do it, it's kind of important. I don't see why you wouldn't have, because that was in a very solid downtime period, but So, some of you may be astonished by this, but LostBelt 1 is 22 chapters long with the prologue. Wow. But, as you can expect from modern FGO, there are a number of no-battle nodes, and most of them actually have a short number of pips, so it's shorter than you'd think. There are less fights for sure. LostBelt's
time for text.
LostBelts continue a lot of trends seen in Epic of Remnant. Break bars will come back on a couple of bosses. Several fights will require mandatory story support or play with servants levels. Some of them you only have to shave off like 1 HP bar to actually beat the fight, etc. There aren't a lot of super weird gimmicks, and we'll cover some of the more specific stuff in a second. But in general, a warning. From my experience looking this up using my clairvoyance, most major bosses have some kind of gimmick related to immediately charging their NP or speeding up their NP charge process, so make sure to keep an eye out for that when you fight a big fight, okay? You'll want to be careful, otherwise you're going to get whacked by an NP when you don't think you are. So, in general terms of enemies, expect most mobs to have under 100k HP. Not super awful. Bosses will have 200 to 400k HP, with major enemies having 2 to 3 health bars, which will be 200k or greater each. Like, some of them are like 300. That means if you get up to like 3 HP bars, you're looking at like 600k total, but broken up through a few phases. Also, LostBelt 1 does the trend of making you fight almost everybody, so look out for matches with servants who are or will become your allies. Just cuz. That's a thing we do. For padding, I guess.
Hey. It is our way to punch everyone until they become our friends. It is the way.
But yeah, so expect to fight your own allies a couple of times. And sometimes your enemies might even cooperate with you for a fight or two. LostBelts are weird like that, in that technically not everybody is all on the same side in them all the time. So our primary support is Avike Braun, Atalanta Alter, Billy, Salieri, and Musashi, with a few cameos from Beowulf and some others. It's weird. I get the impression, because you do that thing where you fight him and Billy at some point, that Beowulf is a major ally in this sector, but he shows up in as a support unit like only 2 or 3 times. Not sure why. We'll find that out when the story comes out, but he's in there. And there's a couple others. Alright, so what y'all want to hear about is the mobs, I'm sure. Boy howdy, strap in kids. Watch out for these. You've got a new version of the Mushushu, which are the scorpion-faced things. They're lancers still. Only now they're ice-themed because it's very cold. There's a new Beastmen mob, the Yaga, who come in Assassin, Archer, and Saber varieties. They're basically your normal foot soldier mobs, like Celtic soldiers or Romans or whatever. There will be many, many demon boars, and some giant demon boars. So keep that in mind. Bicorns are also a very popular mini-boss in this chapter. You're going to fight some bicorns. There's a new Berserker version of the crabs, so you can get shell drops, but they're crabs. And here's a great one. There's going to be a new assassin variant of the Hydra.
No!
Yes.
Wow.
Get a load of that shit. There's going to be a lot of golems. The return of our Skullcap / Plague Doctor friends from the prologue, the Obrinchnik. They're coming back. And there's at least one boss who is a soul eater. So, yeah. Now, this may shock you, but as far as I can tell, there are no chimeras. There are still berserker mobs, quite a few of them, but there are no chimeras. But you do have to fight at least one soul eater, so fuck you, I guess.
Time to bring berserkers. A lot of berserkers. Nuke everything.
Or, hey, if you're lucky, and you got some people of the Tentacle Club, they're really going to do some work here. That reminds me, I should make sure that Hokusai is on one of my slots for support. Expect to punch almost all the servants listed above at least once as a boss. Like, that's not even a spoiler thing, just, you're gonna have to fight them sometimes, just to get the feel of them, I guess. I don't know. Now, I'm slightly censoring this. There will be a recurring Berserker story boss, who is not a playable enemy servant. There's gonna be an Avenger boss called Amadeus Alter, who has a gimmick where he eats mooks to gain attack defense up permanently, so, bring your BB. Commence Death Stranding jokes now.
I'm gonna play that
and of
song
course,
later.
next bullet point. Shocking nobody, you'll also have to fight Anastasia a few times as a boss. The chapter's named after her, that kind of makes sense. The first time she has about 400k HP and only gets a couple of special buffs. The second time is more like a full-on servant duel. Anastasia can attack you up to 3 times per turn, just like her servants can, and her master will provide her with support randomly or as you break her bars, such as invincibility, stuns, guts, and NP charge. She has about 200 to 300k per bar. So watch out. She'll give you a little bit of a challenge, not an excess, but there'll be some fun tricks in there, which is cool. I appreciate that. You know, not since the days of the Fate Zero collab have we gotten such a thing. At the climax, you'll have to fight Ivan, who's a writer, in case you forgot. You'll have to fight him a couple of times. Other than some break bar effects, he's a pretty normal enemy, if chunky. And for these big fights, you'll get special master skills instead of your normal MC. They're pretty good. I'm not going to say what they are or why they are, but they're pretty good. We're talking like End of Babylonia, Merlin permanent, buffs type shit. Like,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's also, do make sure to play LostBelt 1 with your sound up. There is actually a lot of involvement of music, including a very specific scene where they do some stuff, so you're gonna want to hear it. Also, LostBelt 1 is going to introduce us to our new Demon Pillar-type bosses, the Alien Trees. They're super tall. The one in LostBelt 1 is specifically Orochi, which is the name of a galaxy. Who knew? It is a rider boss with some chunky HP, and it starts with a resistance to Buster, which it swaps for critical boosts as its bars are broken. So this is where I mentioned that some enemies really like to hard counter things. In addition to that big Buster resistance when it starts, it also really likes to ignore defense and pierce invul. So as a defensive strategy, you're gonna go with heals and damage cuts, okay? Trying to just Merlin your way through this will not work. In fact, Orochi does the Lancer Artoria thing where he pierce invuls on NP, so suck a dick, everybody. Just get used to that. Bring assassins. Or berserkers. You can cut down a tree. It's a big tree. Though, hey, there are some traits that actually matter. Alien trees are large, so Arthur gets his bonus. When MHXX comes out later this year, they are threats to humanity, so they get her bonus. They are also, or at least Orochi, is man attribute, which is weird, but does mean that Hokusai, who is also going to be useful for all those berserker mobs, will get her bonus damage against it. So there's a lot of tricks you can try, besides just hitting it with assassins. Also, God bless this game for giving us a free single-target alter ego last year. Especially in Anastasia, most of these enemies and bosses are cavalry class, so you're gonna love that free Mecha Liz. Okay, so that's most of your Big O XO stuff. Now, by completing all this, you will get 21 Saint Quartz, 1 Holy Grail. That's right, kids, Holy Grail's coming back. They're in vogue.
Yay!
You get 1 copy of a special CE. Yeah, sorry, no more free servants. You get special commemorative CEs, which are mostly there to just crush your heart and soul.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. The CEs are all like your precious memories of the Lost Belts, which you have completely destroyed in your quest to unfuck time and space. So it's just a big old sad reminder of all the stuff you've done. You will unlock Antonio Salieri in the story summon, and you will unlock Mashu's new costume/skill set. And there was much booing in the chat. There are also 14 free quests in the chapter for another block of Saint Quartz. So, pretty good. Story chapter, more quartz. So, I'll talk about it here. Mash's costume skills will be locked into her new set in the story quests after they are revealed. Now, it does take you quite a long while to unlock this. This is until the second to last node. But once you do that, you will be stuck in her new kit if you're using her in story. Now, this is not generally popular, but I will also tell you it's not the worst, okay? They're not the worst, but they are definitely a slight swap. And unfortunately, one of the things that changes is probably her most popular skill, which is her team damage cut. Her first skill now gives her 1 hit of improved buster damage and improved buster crits, but has a very low cooldown. And I confirmed this earlier today. I talked to some people in the chat. Actually, oddly enough, it was a couple of our new mods who responded to me. But you do keep your skill levels as Mash, so if you have already perfectly invested in your Kohai, you will be at top-level performance already. Which means that this skill has a 4-turn cooldown and does 50% buster and 50% crit up. Which is not awful, but you don't generally think of Mash as a person you use to hit things. So it's very situational.
Mash has no class advantage or disadvantage, so you can't use her to pull damage numbers.
Yeah, this is just this skill, because it has a low cooldown, is really just for oh shit, Mash has got a couple of buster cards showing in this hand, and that's usually fucking useless. Well, we'll make an omelet. Her second skill applies Taunt to herself and gives her a 20% battery on a 5-turn cooldown. That's not the worst. Oh, and now she's got 2 taunts, because her last skill combines the 1 turn of Invincible with another taunt, and also, though it will cost her an amount of HP, which goes down as the level increases, so if this is max level, it only costs her 500 HP. But this does mean that Mash has 2 1-turn taunts, which is pretty interesting, but yes, a lot of her damage absorption potential has gone down. I'm not sure what exactly they're experimenting with, but I think they're trying to make Mash more of a fighty tank, and it's not the greatest. Her NP is basically the same, only the attack buff has been lost. Instead of 3 turns, it's 3 hits. But it's the same values, so whatever. General assumption is that Mash will eventually receive buffs to put her back on her old level, but it hasn't happened yet. And her skills are not required outside of the main story, so if you're doing events and free quest farming and stuff, you can still use regular Mash. It's just for story stuff.
I hope when they switch back to give her last 2 NP levels.
I hope so. Honestly, because she basically loses a buff tier, Lord Camelot is the equivalent of her getting an NP interlude, basically, or something. It increases its effectiveness and gains a new effect. Because they lost that effect for Mold Camelot, I'm hopeful that when they do upgrade that back to something, that they introduce some other new buff or other serious increase. And hopefully, give her last couple of NP levels worth of work in there.
There is the potential Camelot chapter, which would be on fucking theme.
Yes, it would be about the time in the story where she got upgraded before, too.
Yeah.
So and who knows, maybe she'll go all the way to 5 stars now.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool. Give her 10 levels. Can you Grail Mash? Nope. They might have to refund you some Grails if you did that. They could probably pull that off.
Well, maybe they'll unlock her as a full servant, so you
you can't even. Alright, so that's perfect. So they give you level 90 and they let you Grail her. That'd be great. And Bond 10. So, yeah, actually, there's a lot of room to expand Mash, and hopefully they do it, because she is kind of our critical character, So, to round out our pregame knowledge, giving you the clairvoyance, the first campaign banner should be Anastasia, Atalante Altar, and a VK Braun. That's a lot of alliteration, folks. Along with some new CEs, which are Apocrypha-themed, possibly hinting at a thing that happens later this year. After about a week, a second banner should pop up. It will have Limited Ivan, the writer, and Salieri as the 3-star in raid-up, who is story-locked, remember. So, there are a couple of stealth Salieri raid-ups, but this is as good a time as any to take some shots. And this should be everything you need to know to be intellectually, if not emotionally, prepared for LostBelt 1. Have fun, kids.
Ooh. Let's see here. 03, 20... And, oh wait. P1. Save. Thank God. I made it this time.
Hold on. I was just in my master missions, and I'm complete for the week, and I need to trade in some shit.
Okay.
Give me those.
You might not notice, but
courses.
I ghosted at one point in here, and I lost everything I was working on.
That happens.
That was great. but I got it done this time. This thumbnail looks a little weird. I don't like it fully, but I'm gonna push it out because sometimes you just gotta say fuck it.
You have to use the fuck it adjustment?
Yep. That's like, trust me, that's why it took me so long to finish, because I was fiddling. I was like, and then my computer crashed, and I said, that's a sign that I should have just done it.
Don't worry, I'll hide some gunpowder, some permafrost in there. Make it funny.
Awesome.
I'll put milk cups over Skelegrams' boobs again. Which some people thought was you. No, that's me. I do the funny. Okay.
Alright, well, where did I save this again? Oh yeah, in the Studio Mega folder with all my Studio Mega documents.
Posting that, I'll take a drink of water.
Assets, permanent assets. Actually, this isn't even permanent. I should really reorganize this. There we go. Boom. For everybody. Ooh, look at that. It's all CEs.
Hey, whatever works. Alright, I'll open and
rename
save this into my folder of assets, and I will work on the edit later.
Alright, Lucky's gonna go fuck off. Oh wait, no, I can't fuck off yet. Damn it!
Nope. Show's not done.
No, it's not.
Well, so we've just finished LostBelt pregame. The mission clock is 57 minutes.
I'm not gonna lie, Filthy Casual. Koo's crotch is all up in that thumbnail.
It's very centered, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, really quick, we'll mention Teach Me Mega Sensei. It's over for the month, the poll. And without Lucky's interference, Age of Gods won. So we'll look into that next week. I'm gonna guess that probably means that Lucky's prediction is correct and the LostBelt will win handily next month, probably.
Am I clairvoyant?
Could probably use some suggestions for some new topics. We've only got 2 left.
Maybe when we get some LostBelts, there'll be some new things that we can go over.
Sure. Okay, well, I can tell people to come back from the pregame.
Yell at people. I'm gonna restore. I'm gonna close things.
But that means it's time to move into Babylonia.
Oh boy.
So,
boy.
Lucky, I also had mixed feelings about this episode, much like 19.
Mm-hmm. I feel it.
Because 20 does some really good things. Not just even animational, like choreography way. Like, they do some very interesting things I like.
Mm-hmm.
They do some weird things, and I think there's a couple of things that I don't like that they did. That kind of, I don't think work for me. But we will we'll go through them in order, because part of it might be that when I watched it both times, when I watched it late Saturday night and then I watched it earlier today, I may have done it in a binge of 18, 19, 20, which unfortunately for 20 kind of puts it as the tail end of a lot of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about it. So the opening is Gramps is here, and he doesn't give 0 fucks about Tiamat. And he's just gonna get out his Sharpie and he's gonna scribble some lines of death on this bitch.
Yeah.
Which is basically what he does. He teleports around, he does some scribbles.
Is it just me? Oh,
go ahead.
well, is it just me? Do you feel like they kind of simplified his design?
I think they may have to keep his animation smoother.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just because they're using his non-cloaked ascension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are points where his animation is a little weird and rough. I do also appreciate, though, that they show the weird blue lines, kind of suggesting that this is the counterforce acting directly through him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a very strong homage image to the counterforce on the root, is the blue ring thing. And thematically, like I said, it very much harkens to, like, Kara no Kyokai and Death Lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then, since he gives her the concept of death, everybody's just like, alright, we'll just shoot shit at her! And we shoot shit at Tiamat for like 60 seconds and then the OP kicks in. It's not bad, it's just kind of, it happens. Then we need to faff around for a little bit, so Tiamat's just vaguely annoyed they're shooting stuff at her, and she summons the Bel Lahamu, aka the Pillar Lamus, because...
I'm sorry, I'm thinking about CG Dragon Tiamat Titty Sway.
Oh, yes. I thought to myself, one of my particular favorite quotes from Hellsing Abridged, contain the calamity that is your memories.
Yeah.
Because Tiamat's memories are not contained right now, damn it. Whoa. The CG still is kind of weird, but also it still really works for her somehow. I don't know. It's a little odd, but yeah. And yes, this is a JoJo's reference. At least I'm pretty sure it is, because they're fucking posing. That said, boy. So this is one of the first things that I think is weird. There's a lot of attention to animation in the LTFGO parts. There's like 5 minutes of this. And the animation is really quality. It really makes you feel that they're fast and strong and scary, which is good because they managed to encapsulate in about 5 minutes, which I think took me about 3 pips and 30 minutes of time in the game.
Well, I think that's the point, because in the final battle, you literally have to battle LTFGO all the way up Tiamat to reach her head.
Yes, you have to fight them a lot. And so I'm like, I tweeted this actually. I appreciate that the anime truly makes everyone experience how much of a pain in the dick these guys are. Because that is accurate. You really feel the like, holy shit, this is some work, right? These guys are strong, and they are not, they're not chumps. They don't go down easily. Ishtar can't even scratch them. Aresh can't completely contain them. There's some cool effects where they fly. Tiamat basically starts to crawl to the surface, and then these guys pop out to cover her back as she just crawls up. Because I think metaphorically Hassan cut her wings, but they didn't actually cut her wings. Probably because at this point that would be awkward for the model.
Yeah, we could probably say, maybe he cut the concept of wings or something.
Yes, he metaphorically cuts her wings by imparting death on her, and it does seem to weaken her. So, it's okay. It's just a little. It just means that she moves straight to climbing up the walls. Now I will say there are some good things about this. Besides just the fact that the animation is very smooth and you really feel the power on this. We get a couple of good moments where some guys dunk on him. Merlin gets to show you that he didn't get his position just by collecting bottle caps, and that he, in case you forgot, actually taught Artoria how to use the sword.
Is he? I don't know. Does he have Caliburn with him right now, or is that a different sword?
I think the pattern is Excalibur.
Oh, okay.
Which theoretically he should actually have, being in Avalon. Yeah, he has 2 swords. He has his little sword, which he throws, and then he just pulls out an Excalibur, and he fucking dunks on him. Also proving how much of a shitlord he is, because one, he just cuts, but another one, he blocks and then blasts with his staff, and the smug prick is like, Artoria fell for this one a lot.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. But didn't Excalibur get returned to the Lady of the Lake?
Yes, but that's it gets returned metaphorically to Avalon, which is where Merlin is stuck. Also, theoretically, we do have to remember this is displaced in time. Merlin did come from Avalon, so he may have it in the past. It's a little weird, but there is some implications. That is the thing I've talked about, that Merlin actually is the one who's like looking after the sword since it gave back, or his apprentices.
I'm sorry, I'm not that great with Arthurian lore. I'm really not.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to brush up for the Camelot chapter.
Heck yeah, probably.
While we were all living life, Merlin was chilling in Avalon, studying the sword.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He gets some pretty good animations. I would just like to say, Nimue Servant Lin.
Yep.
I'll go there. But, and also, like I said, they do some very good things at reminding you just how terrifying Gramps is. Because he actually gets a fight, and not only does he just completely body several of these LTFGOs like they're nothing, which is kind of impressive because, Ishtar's blasting them over and over again and they don't even flinch. But also, they just shoot him full of beams and he's like, nah, dude, I have battle continuation EX. I'm fine. I don't even care.
Yep.
And just, yeah. But basically, like I said, there's 5 minutes of them mostly getting their asses kicked. I do appreciate that Mash is not instantly killed, despite the fact that these LTFGOs are really, really strong. Like, she actually tanks a couple of hits. It's only because she's not a natural flyer, I think, that they're able to sneak around behind her and slap her around a little. But we try, and Tiamat's about to reach the top, and then, well, you knew it was going to happen, but our boy comes back. So I've talked about sound design a lot. And I gotta say, I think it actually is pretty neat that Tyranno King just brought it up. They literally use a machine gun-esque sound for Gate of Babylon in this. Just like, which I don't think they've done before, and is pretty neat. Like, it really emphasizes that he's just throwing this shit out there, shooting it. But Archer Servant Gil comes back, and he's here to shoot swords at things.
Yeah, I'm a little. I kind of wish they maybe used some different, I guess, sword designs, because if you look, I think it's just all literally just.
Oh yeah, no, the the CG is definitely repetitive, and maybe that'll get polished later.
Yeah, but...
On the other hand, they do have to animate like a bajillion of these things, so...
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you have to consolidate resources. They might touch it up for the Blu-rays of this, which I am totally gonna fucking buy. 'Cause of reasons. But, yeah, so he comes back up, and he's just like, sup, and he just forces Tiamat back in the hole. Though, since Loth mentioned it, there is another great Ishtar ass shot in this, as we follow her behind with chase cam. Yeah. Well, you say that, Robin, but, Gil shows up, and he's just like, sup, servant archer, Gilgamesh. You guys were making such a racket, I just had to come see.
Which means that he basically forced the fucking throne of heroes to send him fucking back.
Yeah, he basically, because there was such a commotion, he basically popped out in his servant form, and he's just like, sup, I literally just died, but I'm already back as a ghost man. Shooting shit.
Well, he couldn't come back into as a servant until he was dead.
He also... he doesn't necessarily need independent manifestation. Gil has a very high rank of independent action. And Gil does not like your rules. But yeah, so we punt Tiamat back down in the hole, and things are going okay. Like, Gil's divine weapons can do pretty decent damage to the Bel'Lahamus, though Tiamat's eye beams do blow up some of his portals and actually hurt him. Though I think that shows this Gil's maturity, right? That he's not just normal ass Archer Gil. He's still King Gilgamesh, because he doesn't immediately freak out at her for breaking some of his shit. He's just like, huh.
He is still overworked, Gil, just like
putting in the overtime, eternally
just upset.
He's just slightly nettled. But we go back down to the ground, except King Hassan, who just fucking vanishes. He'll come back later. Don't you worry, though. This is like I said, they use him a little weirdly. I like how they do it, but also he just fucks off for great periods of time in the episode, and you're like, what's he doing? Is he just chilling? Is he just fighting Bel'Lahamus? I don't know.
I think it'd have been nice if they had some background shots of him just flying around.
Just in the back, him just fucking shit up. I'd love that. That would be on theme, honestly. So Tiamat starts playing her big badass music, and she starts to warm up, and she activates her trump card, the Negagenesis. By the way, lore note, hi. I may have looked up Tiamat's abilities for something completely unrelated that may never see the light of day, but strictly speaking, this is not technically what Negagenesis is supposed to do in the lore, but it's a pretty cool application. It's better than her quote-unquote NP attack in the game, where she just tries to eat you, so I'll let it pass. Normally, all the beasts have this Nega skill, which basically represents what they're rejecting. For instance, Getia had Nega Messiah, which made him completely immune to noble phantasms until something happened that hurt us a lot. And Kiara has Nega Saver, which is why she has class advantage against rulers. Negagenesis is normally just supposed to be a conceptual bounded field that makes Tiamat immune to noble phantasms of things from normal human history, because that's what she's rejecting. But kind of making it an almost reality marble-esque field works too. Now, this is the first thing that, honestly, I'm kind of disappointed by. So, Eresh does get an NP. Kind of.
Yeah.
She does the full chant, her animation is very nice, but the actual attack is just some shitty CGI rocks. Let's be real. That's what it's described to in the anime. That's not necessarily what it's described as doing in Tiamat's mats discard. That's what I'm saying. Is in her mats, it's not as necessarily offensive, Negagenesis. It's just gives her complete immunity and repulsion of servants. Because honestly, as far as she's depicted in the game, she doesn't really need an ability to just remove servants, because that's something her Black Tide does. But we kind of underplayed that a lot in the underworld. Like, it was a big threat a couple of times, but mostly we just dodge it or remove it through Merlin magic. So it's not as huge of a deal.
Would you say, like, the Nega series are more of, like, a defensive skill?
Yes. They are basically a conceptual rejection as a skill of what that beast, is rejecting. Like, Mara's is Nega Desire. Like I said, Kiara's is Nega Saver, which makes her completely immune to the class skills and abilities of Saver and Rulers, etc. So, like, for instance, a ruler could not use their command spells on Beast Kiara, kind of a thing. But, like I said, they turned it into her ultimate trick, which is kind of cool. You know, she's creating the universe, as it were, which makes sense, because that's Tiamat. And it is a rejection of the course of human history, so it does kind of make sense that because she's trying to create life and create a new life that things that are dead can't enter. BT Dubs, Mash is still alive. She could totally enter the field. She just doesn't because she has to stand still and do something. Anyway, we're talking about Aresh. Aresh holds her off with her NP, which, by the way, means that only, I believe, Benkei, Jaguar Man, and Gramps don't get NP animations in this anime. Unless they sneak something into episode 21, which I don't think they will.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. Gramps especially is interesting because he's kind of a big boy man.
Which is weird because I'm pretty sure, if I remember the story correctly, Benkei should have used his NP to basically hold down Dark
Yes,
Ushi.
he should have used one of his NPs. I think we talked about this thematically for blocking. It didn't make as much sense, right? Because they did the whole thing where we're up on fucking pterosaurs.
Yeah.
So like just thematically that didn't work out as good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Jaguarman actually uses any her true attack in story anywhere. I don't remember. It might have been like Lost said, and she attacked Tiamat. I don't know. It's not a big deal. It just it's sad that we don't get more serious out of her.
I mean, I want to see Yakuza boss Taiga.
Which, by the way, that's completely skipped. There is no cutaway from the underworld. It is all underworld action, which is pretty good for the pacing. Just it does mean we don't get any kind of closure on Jaguarman or Ketz. Hopefully in episode 21.
I'm pretty sure we're going denouement.
Yes.
So they're gonna have to tie up everything, but in the moment,
it's not shown yet.
Yeah.
So Aresh does her NP kind of, and then we get basically to the climax, which is like, okay, so despite the fact this thing is supposed to reject all normalized NPs, you know what will protect us from it? Lord Camelot. So Mash, you're gonna have to do the thing. We get a subtle gill nod talking about a certain king, so Mash is like, that'll protect us for a little bit, we gotta get in there. Well, we're all technically dead, at least all the servants are, so we can't go inside because she'd just negate us. But you're alive, so you can go in. Which, by the way, greatly appreciate. This is one of the really good things they did, is that, like, they're like, hey, Master, you gotta do it. You're an alive human. You have to take the reins. It's wiggly. It's wiggly. He's kind of alive, but also he's quote-unquote dead because he doesn't exist yet, maybe? It's weird.
Yeah.
Mash is totally, by the way, though, like I said, she's totally still alive. She's a demi-servant. Maybe Aresh and Ishtar get a pass, but it's just I don't think Mash can go in because she has to stand still and tank, like the mighty glacier that she is. But yeah, I appreciate this, and I appreciate them showing this. And keep in mind, this is the guy that canonically this kid runs away from Herc and gets into a punch-up with Gaetia. So I think that's good that they actually emphasize that and let him do some work in here.
Agency is good.
Yes, that's a good way to show that he is dramatic and but he outruns Herc while carrying Urale. Remember, if we'll never get an Okeanos anime, but it's still pretty good. Just think about that. Just think about this kid with Urale on his back, dead ass running, and he's like, "I'm so glad I didn't skip leg day. Leg day is the best." Though it's well, we're skipping ahead. I'll come to it when I come to it. There is a very awkward run cycle from Fujimaru in here.
Yeah,
there's a little bit where they skimped on the animation cycles because he runs much better later. So it's just in that scene where he's running like a dork.
To be fair, he is running over some interesting terrain.
Yes, but anyway, So basically, Mash is like, okay, I'll unlock my Noble Phantasm, and then Merlin's like, don't worry, I'll get you there. I'll help. I'll use my Noble Phantasm, which is something I'm glad they brought back because that's something I said last time. I was like, I don't feel like the flowers were pretty enough yet, and they're like, no, he's gonna do his NP, which is cool. So there's two things I want to mention. I hope that Production IG is watching for the Camelot movies. One, I hope they're watching in those Gramps scenes to understand how fucking terrifying Gramps is and how they should handle him. Two, I'm hoping they're watching all the Lord Camelot scenes so they know what not to do. Because I gotta be honest, to me at least, there's 2-3 Lord Camelot uses in the Babylonia anime. None of them are really cool. They're just kind of like, I understand there are some technical limitations to summoning a giant fortress, but it's not super impressive, you know? Like, it's just, we're just gonna summon a wall, and then... Actually, no, I take that back. The one where they did it to reverse Ereshkigal's attack, that was pretty cool. That was alright. The other two, the one where they use it to not die from falling, because they really didn't need to do that. That was such a waste. Oh yeah, they technically do show it in episode 0, don't they? The number in 1 is a waste, and in 19 is oh look, we summoned a wall, and we're gonna put a negative image filter over it. We're gonna do some Photoshop effects.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. I do, though, appreciate Merlin's use, because that actually looks very good as he activates it. They do a lot of...
Megan, can I cut you off real quick? Because someone asked, what does a Garden of Avalon do? So I pulled up the wiki page, and I'm just going to read it for you, okay, guys?
Okay.
So,
Garden of Avalon.
Yep. Garden of Avalon, the forever sealed utopia, is the noble phantasm of Merlin. It reproduces unto the surrounding area the tower where Merlin is, even now, being confined. Flowers bloom in profusion above the ground, and no matter what sort of darkness or hail that may be, a warm sunlight shall shine upon it. Even if the space that he has been is permitted is nothing but a jail of a mere 10 meters in all directions, and the scenery that is given to him is only an isolated sky found far away in the horizon, it continues to eternally exist as a utopia. This place where Merlin, the magus of flowers, is must not be a hell, but a land filled with hope.
Yeah, so basically the explanation explains nothing, other than that Avalon happens, I guess. But it looks really cool, and I do love Merlin's NP chant.
Honestly, I think I kind of feel like it gives, it's kind of like Pioneer of the Stars, I feel like.
Yeah, the effect seems to be that basically no matter what's going on, Merlin brings hope and energy to the situation. Yeah. Like, he reinforces MASH, and physically he constructs a path for Fujimaru to walk on. But, like I said, I like Merlin's NP chant. You know, from the inner sea of the planet to the Tower of Insight. From all corners of paradise, let them know. Speaking about humans, your story is, or their story is filled with blessings. Only those without sin may pass. I'm like, that's real good. That's really sweet and really nice in this moment, Merlin. Mm-hmm. So we do the big swell. Lord Camelot, MASH does do her full NP chant at least, which is cool. And you get a translation of her NP line if you've never heard it before. I will sit in the seat of catastrophe, referring to the Siege Perilous, which is the cursed seat at the round table. But we do a Photoshop filter, and then, I gotta be honest, I like Aresh. This still doesn't hit me as hard as Enkidu's final scene. Maybe it's just because the music choice isn't as good. They use one of the generic OST tracks. But this is Aresh's send-off. She's running out of energy and starts to disappear. And Ishtar's like, I thought it was weird you using everything. You used your power to help humans, didn't you? And she's just like, yeah, I guess. I just wanted to protect the underworld. And I guess humans are cool. I don't like humans, you like humans. You know, she has to get her last bit. And then she kind of does a soft love confession where she's like, I hope we can meet again and it'll be more dramatic. My normal personality is more gloomy than this. But I kind of hope we can meet again in better circumstances. And then, that final moment, her final thoughts are, look at all these flowers blooming in my underworld. And then she disappears. And Ishtar gets out a hard baka. A deep cut. And that's all we wrote for Aresh. Damn it! But is still pretty good. And then we activate hyper animation mode again. By the way, this is where first, because in between Aresh fading away and the Noble Phantasm being activated, Fujimaru kind of runs off screen, and that's what I mean. Like, his walk cycle there is very awkward. I'm like, it's a little weird. Inside the field, running across flowers and rocks and stuff. First of all, good thing we talked about this guy working out, because damn, he's doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. Fucking jumping off rocks and things. Dodges a Tiamat Lamu bullet. I don't know if these are Bell Lamus or regular ones, but she summons some more things to get rid of him, and then Gramps just shows the fuck up inside the negative field. He doesn't give a fuck. And he's just like, I guess these guys are dead. Well, I'm death, so I'm gonna eat them. And you're like, wait, what? Like, literally somebody spoiled that for me. We're like, oh yeah, Gramp eats Lahamu, and I was like, after seeing him appear a couple times, I was like, was that figurative? Oh no, it's literal. He fucking eats them. That's how he kills them. He doesn't bust out Azrael or Zabinia or even stab him with his sword. He fucking takes off his mask and eats them. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, damn, Gramps.
Gramps is intense. And I'm just I'm sorry, just always imagining that this is fucking Joji Nataka, who is more of a nerd than I have previously thought.
He's kind of a dorky old guy. And was that recent where he recreated the Kirie tofu shot?
Yes.
Nerd. No, he's not going to talk about how it needs more salt. He says they need more spice. Obviously. They're not spicy enough.
Mm-hmm. Only the spice makes him feel something.
And then we almost get there, but the last one breaks. And he's about to fall, and he's like, damn it, at the last second. And then all of a sudden, Foe's there, and he's like, I'm Foe, bitch!
Teleport!
And just pops him in front of Tiamat's face so he can poke her with a knife in the spirit? Question mark? Because that's something we passed over earlier. Gil hands him one of his many treasures, which is pretty bold of him, but hands him a magic knife, or not even a magic knife, who even knows, but hands him a knife and is like, stab the head somewhere. That's how that works.
I think it's symbolic.
It's metaphorical. Because we see the flash of light, we get a brief glimpse of the Master in the inner space, talking to femme fatale Tiamat, her brain basically. Then the barrier shatters.
I wonder if he temporarily went to the imaginary number space.
It's entirely possible. So I like this plot element, and we'll talk about it more later when we actually see the conversation. I like this element. It's also super, like, airy and metaphorical. Like, it's really cool. It's not very well explained because it's original to the anime. But the Master gets kicked back out. The barrier comes down. Also, this is something I don't think I mentioned, but Tiamat's Aoyuki noises are now backed by T-Rex noises. There's a lot of T-Rex roaring in there, but she calls out once more, and he's like, Gilgamesh, and then the main theme starts playing. We get grand battle, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna do the thing. And Gil does what may be the best rendition of Enuma Elish in the franchise. I have to actually go back and watch Zero. Because while that was a very dramatic effect, I don't know if the actual animation on the NP was as tight and dramatic as this one. And no offense to UFO Table, we love those guys, but it has been a few years, and definitely in Unlimited Blade Works, Gil uses Enuma Elish much more casually. It's almost like scary, right? Like it's supposed to be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is the big send off. He does the whole chant. My sword, and yes, he calls it a sword. He uses the word Ken. Split creation, heaven and earth kind of thing. And he charges it all the way up. That's pretty cool. And then he shoots it, and it is the loudest fucking thing. So it's so loud. Like when it first fires, it sounds like a trumpet going off, but then it's just the high reverb, and just completely obliterates Tiamat. Just evaporates her into a big explosion. And then we cut back. We cut back to the Master standing in front of Tiamat, and holy shit, she speaks. This is really good. Like, talking about how I said they did some weird things, they said they did some things I didn't like. This is really, really good, and this has nothing to do with animation. Just, you guys may have heard of a concept called show, don't tell. Where basically, generally in creative writing, it's considered better to illustrate somehow to your audience rather than just tell them a fact. And there are scenes in normal Babylonia in the game where people speculate about Tiamat's motivations or how she must feel, right? They talk about her, but that's all just random exposition from the control room, right? This is Tiamat speaks to us, the audience, and to us, the Master, and is like, hi, I'm Primordial Space Mom. I've raised a lot of creatures, and I've loved them. But then she kind of talks about why she is the way she is. Her children have used her as a ladder, and they're going to a faraway place. And it makes her sad. She asks a very poignant question. Was my love wrong? And
so, like...
Go ahead.
Okay, so... This is another thing. This is the one thing I hate... Well, I can't say I hate it, but I disliked about this section. I hate that Fujiwara was just like, I'm going to just spoil it. It was like, I don't know.
Well, I was about to say, the Master, he says, I don't know. I understand where you're coming from, where you feel like you wanted to say, no, it wasn't. But at the same time, I think it fits his character. That's a lot of themes in FGO is like, you don't really know. Like, you don't know if what you're doing is good. You don't know a lot of the answers, but you have to be in this fight anyway, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, like,
I think it's thematically appropriate for FGO, but you're right, that's not a very dramatic conclusion for him to just be like, I don't know.
Because, like I said, this is me, projecting, but I just would have said something, it's like, just answer, it's like never wrong for a mother to love her children. And then, go with the demo. All children must leave their mother someday.
Right. Well, yeah, so he continues by saying, I don't know if your love was wrong, but I know your children love you. So isn't it time for you to get going? Kind of like, isn't it time for you to move on? And she's like, okay.
This next line slayed me, though.
Yeah, it's rough, because she's like, never forget me, but please don't love me anymore. Because it's like that's the thing that really hurt her, was that she is still the primordial mother. She's still attached to everybody, but also they're moving past her. So it's like very sad. But basically, she fades up, and then clearly the body of the beast was broken, and then just blam. And then while we play this dramatic piano music, and then it just turns into a montage. That's right, yeah. That's important to note, too. Fujimaru doesn't attack Tiamat. He just throws it away. He does the FGO thing, and he just talks to them. Just like, yo, let's have a convo. Let's have a quick huddle.
Mm-hmm.
Tia huddle.
Tia huddle.
Keeping in mind that Tiamat's quite small in this, actually. She looks like she's about at head height with Fujimaru, just her horns are bigger. Which is, either means that Fujimaru's really tall, but I don't think he is, because Tiamat's, Femme Fatale's normal smallest size is 6 feet. It's like 2 meters. It's 2 or 3 meters, actually, honestly, maybe. So obviously she's a little shorter than that in this, but it works great for the parallels.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the montage, the explosion, the underworld collapses. There's the flowers whirling up, sucking everybody up. And then they do the low angle shot where a rock hits the camera, and then it just goes to the surface, and there's just daylight breaks, and you just see the Master and Mash holding hands, lying there. All his command seals are spent. End.
I'm just, like, I don't know. Maybe I feel too much empathy for our enemies, but god damn, sometimes I wish things end a different way. Like give like Tiamat some resolution or something.
I guess yes, but also that is. I think a lot of this is this is this is our parting. There are a lot of conflicts that are supposed to be sad.
Well, yeah, because this the entire theme of Babylonia is. It's basically moving past. This is moving away from the Age of Gods. This is moving away from your mother. Like,
yeah, childhood end. Also, another theme I think is acceptance. Like, there's a lot of the story is built around Fujimaru and Mash coming to accept that all these people they know are gonna fucking die, and Gil's already there. He's like, oh no, now we're fucking dead, dude. But we're not gonna not fight,
because it's like. This is literally the final battle before they know the gates yet, and it's like their final hardening,
Right. As Merlin says in episode 19, this must have been your hardest and strangest journey.
Yeah. But, because here's the thing about, I don't remember if everyone knows this, but beasts, remember, the beasts, while are evil, they're not evils that destroy humanity. They're evils that humanity destroys.
Which I don't think was a line that Gil actually says in the anime, but it's something he says in Babylonia.
Yeah, and when you look at it, most of the beasts are doing what they do out of love of humanity. So it gives me
it's in his speech.
So it gives me this weird sense of empathy for them, of just like, oh God, no.
Actually, that's right. I think we had a point. I think we brought that up when that happened in the anime. We're like, remember, this is what Gil says. He says that they are not something that beat us, we beat them.
Yeah.
But yes, that's a very important point. They are evil. They are evils born from man and their love for man.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the important thing to talk about Kiara as a beast is that she is Beast 3R Lust. Kiara is effectively a messiah. She is a saver herself, in a sense. But because of her weird situation, she thinks that she's the only human.
Mm-hmm.
So she is going to drown all humanity, i.e. herself, in ecstasy by eating all of us.
Yeah.
Because that's the greatest pleasure, is to become one with the universe and whatever. So that's why she's the nega savior. She is the antithesis of enlightenment. Whereas, to spoil it a little bit, but Kamamara is nega desire, which is basically, we're going to destroy true love and the true advance of humanity by having infinite love for everyone, love going out rather than, like, Kiara is selfish. She wants everyone and everything to love her. That's her enlightenment. Kamamara is instead radiating out, I have enough desire and love for everyone, but by doing this, we will destroy the concept of desire because it will be a need that is constantly met for everyone. It's kind of an instrumentality type thing, where just like, if we all have everything all the time and we are immortal and have a personal connection of love, we will destroy ourselves. We will stop existing as a species.
Stagnation.
Yeah. So that was kind of what was going to go on there. And Gaetia is specifically Nega Messiah. He's like the antithesis of salvation. I'm going to save you by destroying you, because clearly you guys don't know what the fuck is going on. What is the phrase we use for pity? What does it say? It's the sheer arrogance of pitying someone, I believe, yeah. Well, that's the thing about all the beasts. All the beasts are stagnation, in a sense.
Yep.
Gaetia would destroy human history to save us, quote-unquote. Tiamat wants to reject human history to go back to an earlier time. Kiara would destroy us all by, basically becoming one with her. Kama would neutralize everybody. I don't exactly know what primate murder would be like if he went full out, but foe is the beast, or primate murder foe is the beast of comparison, of comparing yourself to others and being angry at those stronger than you and at those weaker than you. So I don't necessarily know what that would look like. We may never know. Like, we don't know for sure whether or not that's considered solved, because on the one hand, it's kind of a big deal that foe is like, nah, dude, you did it. But also, there's some other, as Lucky has said before, we're doing some really weird time shenanigans. And also, Babylonia did make sure to show primate murder. We're pretty sure that when Gilgamesh was talking about beasts, we saw a giant fluffy creature. I'm saying that's pretty reasonably to say that that's foe's beast design.
Yeah, but going back onto the points of beasts, everyone's talking about stagnation. Note to self that once we overcome all 7 evils, humanity will move to its next step. That's purposely vague. No one actually knows what the fuck that is. The emphasis seems to be that humanity in its current form will cease and we will go somewhere else. Yeah. New types, clearly. Well, we'll see. We should be getting our Golden Week. When is Golden Week? Hang on.
Soon.
Golden Week, Japan, 2020.
It's somewhere in... It's
May
like
2nd,
second or third week in April?
No, it's May 2nd to May 6th.
May, okay.
Yeah,
so first week in May.
Yeah, so we still got over a month.
Yeah, we'll probably get... there's already some... Well, I mean, it's pretty expected. They've got a stream scheduled somewhere, and they're doing hunting quests, so it's pretty expected that we're saber rattling. We're coming up on around spring, so LostBelt 5 Part 2 should be coming out. There are already some supposed leaks, which I don't really... Like, I'm open to stuff being true, but there is also that big quote-unquote leak/data mine around LostBelt 5 Part 1 that was also mostly fucking wrong. So, yeah, and this is one of those things that, like, I won't believe it until I believe it. Also, they said it was like a data mine or a leak or something, and I'm like, there were a lot of story deals, and I'm like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like, we did data mine some things about LostBelt 5 from the profiles of Jason and Charlotte, because they have extra profile steps that are tied to their plot relation in LostBelt 5. But those weren't necessarily overly hard details, and I don't think the actual plot of anything was actually truly revealed ahead of time in LostBelt 5. So, as usual, I remain healthily skeptic. We'll see what happens with banners and stuff. It should be soon. I'm sure we'll talk about that loads when it happens.
As I said, I keep hoping, but back then, as I mentioned before, I keep hoping for a Tsukihime remake. not remake. Well, yes, remake, but collab in which we actually get primate murder, not pro/primate murder.
Yeah, alternate timeline foe. Because as we've mentioned, Tsukihime very incompatible with the normal timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we talked about that when we did the Moonstone conversation a couple weeks ago. I think it was.
Maybe.
Where it was like, yeah, no, there's a lot of a lot of timelines that just don't work. Like Extra literally doesn't work with Tsukihime because the moon is completely fucking different.
Type moon.
Okay, so yes, they're different, but remember, the thing about why Tsukihime and Fate are mutually exclusive continuities is the strong and weak counterforce.
Mm-hmm.
In Tsukihime, the counterforce is not strong enough to protect humans, so Gaia is more dominant, and thus, that's how we get vampires as basically the ultimate human killing machines. That's what they're there for. They're there to kill humans. Because apparently, I don't know if Natsu has like a secret environmentalist streak or something, but it's entirely possible. There's a lot of themes about the planet running out of life force and dying and shit. But apparently in the Tsukihime type timeline, planets have souls, and their souls fucking hate humans, and they keep sending their soul stands to kill us. Look, he's typing furiously.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. There's a lot of interesting things they could do. I do hope that maybe there's a campaign 5 for Tiamat, because especially now that we've made her speak, like there's we have expanded the range of emotions and possibilities for Tiamat, and that would like they could totally make that work. She has passive skills and active skills that can work. Like she's got self-mod EX, so she can crit really hard. That kind of thing. And then there's just, there's a lot of ways you could interpret that. And she doesn't even have to be alter ego, even though that makes sense. She is still a mythical being, so we could summon her as, I don't know, a berserker? An Avenger would be a good one, too.
Yeah,
because aren't Lamus at one point classed as Avengers? And then they switch?
I don't think we had Avenger well, maybe we did.
No, we definitely had Avenger. We way had Avenger. I fucking dunked on Tiamat with John.
Yeah, that's right now. But no, I don't think they did. But yeah,
I don't remember. They could also just give her a new class. We've talked about that. Not that, because that's the thing. It's the Beast 1 class that is the Nega alter ego, but they could still massage that. And also it might make sense for her to do other stuff. Heck, fuck, they could do her as a ruler, because that's the thing about Nega. Nega Genesis is normally, like I said, it protects her from noble phantasms. So, like, she could have inherent. That would be a great way to represent that, with just giving her ruler type class advantage, or just give her a passive skill and make her an alter ego, much like how Kiara has class advantage against rulers despite being an alter ego. Listen. To Lightworks, there's a lot of fucking cool things you could do. You've already kind of expanded what sort of things are possible with King Protea. Just do it. Just do it already.
Just do it.
Give us a couple different ascensions. Give us some lines. If you wanted to just make Yuuki noises, make her Berserker with some high madness enhancement, so she can fucking bust her. And just make her NP, her turn into a giant Jurassic form and eat them. Nom.
Okay, listen. Babylonia Campaign 5, SSR Tiamat, SR Siduri. Make money.
I know a lot of people want Kingu, but I am not yet sure how they could pull it off. I appreciate, especially, like I said, I watched 19 again in this. I appreciate Kingu's arc as a character. At the same time, it's like, I don't know, maybe much like the Lion King, that's really hard to pull off separately mechanically. Okay,
so this is what you do. You basically make him in Kidu face, braid his hair, and give him a separate outfit, I guess.
Something like that. Or just figure out a separate look for Kingu. Like keep Kingu the face, but like maybe a different look to the body. Yeah, an Avenger would probably be good for Kingu, but they could do other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And figure out his own Noble Phantasmal. But yeah. Listen, there's still a lot of stuff they could mine out of Babylonia, and I'm surprised they haven't done it. But yes, Siduri, big deal. And Tiamat, big deal. Give Yuuki more money.
Jesus, Dogma.
That's a very long...
I feel like there's some punctuation missing here.
Yeah, there's that was a big run-on sentence. I kind of get what you're going for, skimming it. But yeah, and they still could have, like, that's the thing. They could have easily pasted in just the insert where, like, Katz is crashing to the ground after she exploded herself, and Jaguar-Man is just there to catch her, and just be like, "Sup, I caught you. I guess you didn't need to punch me so much after all." It's like, okay, bye. Hopefully, like I said, we'll get some Enuma on there, because we'll get, we'll be getting all that concluded stuff. We'll get, like, a wrap-up. We'll probably talk to Gil. Because he has a big long speech, if I remember correctly, at the end of Babylonia, which is about Uruk and history and stuff. There'll probably be some Merlin conversations. Then there's the real big question of where's this gonna end, right?
Well, yeah, because if you remember, at the end of the Babylonian...
Go ahead.
At the end of the Babylonian chapter, you basically go straight into Time Temple Solomon as Gatia has found out, and it's all like, it's literally just yoinked Chaldea and is pulling it into his voice.
You get all the grails, and you're like, we've locked in. We know exactly where the Time Temple is, and Gatia's like, okay, you know where I am. I'm gonna get you. And
well,
it's like, oh fuck.
If I remember the way they explain it, is because you know where he is, he knows where you are.
Yes, basically, like, because we're both aware of the time, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we lock it in, so it's like, yeah, like, that's a good time to figure it out, and is there going to be a Solomon adaptation? It doesn't have to be long. Could be like 30 to 60 minutes. Just give, this animation team could do it some justice. Just do all the cameos and fight some demon pillars, and then punch Gatia.
Actually, they could probably do it in one episode, honestly. I said they have to cut it down, but basically it's the entrance, the initial fight with Levlanor, the appearance of all the servants, big fight scene as they run to Gatia. Gatia does his thing. We cry, and then the final fight.
I don't know. That's a little dense for 20 minutes.
Maybe
I could see them setting it up and then be like, and then on the Blu-ray bonus episode. And then
God, shit, they do that if they do that shit, fuck.
Though, my Blu-ray bonus one is I want Merry Christmas from the Underworld animated. Again, like I said, I want the conclusion to Aresh's story, and also just so we can get Cloverworks and their crack animation team to take a shot at Candy Star Photon Ray. Can you imagine high-budget Candy Star Photon Ray?
Well, that means we get more, mommy, God.
No,
I can't think
sheep noises.
Thank you.
Meh, meh, meh. Get some fucking trigger stars in there. It'd be pretty baller.
It would be pretty baller.
And then it's just the Camelot movie. Like I said, I hope Studio IG is taking notes.
Actually, what is the status on the Camelot movie? I haven't heard it. It was supposed to come out this winter, wasn't it?
No, I think it was sometime this year, but it's going to be, presumably it'll probably be delayed in theaters because of the thing, but...
Yeah. No, I could have swore that the first Camelot movie was supposed to come out winter.
I believe it is soon-ish, but I don't know. You're looking it up. I won't. I'll let you find it.
I won't.
But it will be... Now it's May, okay, so it's been delayed.
Oh,
was it delayed before the thing or because of the thing? Do we know?
Camelot movie.
Because there are such things as normal-ass delays. Though, hey, if you guys want to do it was delayed before the thing. If, because of the thing it's still delayed, you want to do like a lot of studios are talking and stream it directly to me, I might cough up... I could see maybe not $20, but I could cough up some personal money to see it directly, or just use my special Funimation pass I still have. Maybe? Anybody? Bueller? But yeah, so, that's gonna be good. I'm not coughing. You're coughing. Actually, that might have been Lucky off mic.
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah, nobody's coughing.
Phantom cough.
But, that's gonna be interesting to see, like I said. I hope they took... That'll mostly be in the second half, but I hope they took some pointers about, some of the things that we saw in Babylonia. Both the things that we really, really liked and some of the things that could be, like, better. Like, in the end of movie 2, when we get Ron versus Lord Camelot, that needs to be really, really good. Like, that's the fucking climax of that story. So,
I mean, listen, this is where Bedivere does the walk and the talk and,
But also, that's where Mash activates her true noble phantasm for the first time, and Bedivere talks her through it. As long as you have will, these walls will not fall, and just that effect. I mean, I could see a voiced anime style theme tune. Also, if they just do the main theme, like I do actually think that's a really cool that Mash's NP music is the game's main theme. It just starts. And withstands it. That would be pretty cool. Or making me do like a little action rendition. The Babylonia OST is really fucking good. The first half's already out, and that has some of the major leitmotifs in it. And I can't wait to I really want their version of the map theme. The last part, because they use it when Tiamat's doing her freaky beast stuff. That's pretty cool. With like the vocals. There's a couple of other moments that are good. I want that rendition of Grand Battle. But yeah, anime stuff. It's cool. First movie better end with Stella, and it better be fucking good.
Yeah.
Though, like I said, I'm pretty sure they've got the animator from 18 on the Camelot movies, who was also that was the episode he directed, and he was also the key animator in the big fight scene from Apocrypha everybody liked. So, like, yeah, give me some big damn animation. Like, when Arash does that Stella, I want to see some fucking wavy lines and fluid motions and shit.
I'm gonna see a lot of sparkles.
Well, and hopefully he gets an animation update around or before then. But it's sadly Stella is a little undersold in the game. It's just it's a meteor, boom, which we appreciate. We appreciate it's fast. It's like a fucking Bunyan doing her NP. But the
story behind it's a lot more important.
Yes, but
goddamn.
One, we really need to feel Rungominiad when it's firing. Like, it's pretty good in the Case Files anime. This needs to be like even more.
And this one is it's a pillar from the sky, if I remember right.
Yes, the energy shoots up into the sky and crashes down, and that's how Stella stops it. Also, for the love of God, he probably will, but I need Oz to be as good as Kazgil in those movies. Like, bring that fucking A game. Oh fuck, that's probably why Siduri got so much fucking headspace in the anime. Because Nitocris is gonna do the same thing in Camelot.
Oh,
like it's gonna be the same dynamic, though slightly different because Oz is a little different than Gil, but still, like, just think about that.
And well, Siduri is one of the people who's gonna grab Gil by the back of his collar and drag him back to work. Nitocris is one who will like chase after Ozzy and be like, "Yes, Pharaoh, of course."
Right,
Pharaoh.
But also Nitocris has more direct power herself too, where she'll be like, I don't need to bother the Great Pharaoh with this. I'll take care of this myself. Oh no, I've been kidnapped by assassins.
Literally.
I'm being kidnapped. Oh no. But yes,
Oh no, does that mean we get to see Great Sky Nitocris?
Possibly. I hope so. That's that can be like 10 seconds. Just Nito yells at us from the sky. We're gonna get some fucking Da Vinci in the field too. Like the Camelot movie should be pretty good because that's a great series. That's like a great story that's got a lot of elements that's just gonna be real fun to see. I do wonder, will they do kind of like, because they won't have as much time, I don't think, but will they do kind of like what the Babylonia anime did and like throw in all the nods that other things do? Like, do you think we'll see Lancelot do Adondite? Do you think we'll see Da Vinci do Umo Universale, that kind of stuff? He's lucky dead?
No, I'm not. I'm still here. I'm just thinking.
Oh, you're thinking, okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Because, to elaborate a little on that, they could just do the NPs that happen in story, because there are quite a few of them and they're a big deal. But I wonder, will they go the extra mile, or will they have the time for it, you know?
Like, when, like, I don't know, one scene I definitely want to see is when, which is integral, is when Ozzy uses the light bulb, against, well, I guess the whole tower is Rongo. And then is like, no, I'm gonna drop my pyramid on me. Yeah.
And then he's gonna crash his thing into it.
Then crashes the whole pyramid, and he's literally doing, what's the word he's literally Gynex posing, being like,
yes. He does Remisium Tentrius. Oh fuck, we're gonna see Sanzo too. She has to punch the door.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's gonna be very interesting. Just like Sanzo goes all out and just Toto will do nothing. He's completely useless.
I don't know, he feeds everybody.
He does. He'll be great. He'll be fun, but also if he does something, that would mean that they're doing like I said, and they put some bullshit in there. Because he doesn't ever do any... Like, he's there when Arash gets nuked because he, like, nah, dude, you're gonna fucking die. Somebody should be here to see this. That's important. So I will sit with you.
Of course.
But yeah, there are a lot of noble phantasms in...
Not of course now, Robin.
Like, Cursed Arm will do his thing. That'll be very interesting to see, considering that... Honestly, it's going to be really interesting to see the wider fanbase's reaction, because I know that there was some confusion, right, with Babylonia coming out from some core Fate fans who weren't in FGO yet. It's going to be very interesting to see, because Heaven's Feel is ending this year, and then we're going to jump into Camelot, where Cursed Arm is a completely different character, who we like a lot. That's going to be a thing. That's going to be some fucking mood swings, right?
Well, what I like about it is even, like, outside, like, FGO as a whole has pegged Cursed Arm as just this lovable uncle type. Like, the only time you ever really see him being evil is in Heaven's Feel.
So, and that's because he's serving an evil master, and he's also in a really weird place because he's, like, half-assed summoned because Medea fucked some shit up.
But, like...
Well, I think important to remember is I think all of the Hassans actually are lawful evil. They are still orderly, but they also do kill people for a living. So
yeah, but they have rules about their killing, and just murder indiscriminately. Which is the thing.
As opposed to Nega Tristan, who that's also going to be another weird one because those guys are going to be like, man, Tristan's an asshole, unless they make sure to explain it.
And then I'm gonna be like, have you heard of Tristan's greatest hits?
Yeah, that's the thing. By now, most of us treat Tristan as a gag character, basically, because we've completely pivoted on him. Like, most people understand that Camelot Tristan was doing the FGO thing where he was completely fucked up to be a villain. And then also, we've had several events with him being weird.
Yeah, so, like, same with Gawain,
Gawain's in honestly, most people probably like Gawain better because of Camelot, because he's kind of a dickhead and extra. He's especially quite rude to Nero, which generally people are not okay with. But he tries, at least, I think, in Camelot, and also he gets to fight with Gramps and get completely bodied. That's gonna be great.
Oh, I can fly.
Like, just imagine the fucking skull-faced sandstorm rolling up. Excuse me, I'm going to hide the sun. And Gawain's just like, no, don't do that. Please don't. Shit. So yeah, I'm really curious if the Knights of the Round gets a lot. Like, it's kind of a plot point that Mordred's Blessing lets her fire off her attack constantly. So, will we see her trying to do Clarent Blood Arthurs a lot?
Oh god, you haven't seen...
Actually, that's
who here has seen
Actually, I've seen the clips from Heaven's Feel. You're talking about Saber Altar going fucking nuts using Excalibur Morgan?
Yeah. I hope it's something like that.
Boy, if they do it that would be appropriate too, because that is how she uses it. Because that's her blessing of the Grail, is that she can fire it off continuously at the cost of her soul. So, yeah. That's also going to be another interesting thing, because in FGO, Mordred was an interesting turn, because in London, she was pretty cool. She was an ally. But also, she's arguably one of the main protagonists in Apocrypha anime, too. So, this is also going to be real... It won't matter, because we're mostly plugged into our community, but it's going to be interesting to hear from other people about the Camelot movies in relation to Fate as a greater thing. Actually, well, Heaven's Feel has just come out, so an idea of a villainous saber is in some people's mind, but that might be interesting too, right? To see Goddess Rhongomyad as a character.
Well, as I said, honestly, it's kind of hard for us to look in and see this because we have all this knowledge. We know all the beats.
We have a lot of expectations.
So it's kind of hard for me to step back as someone who doesn't know anything, just because I don't know I can't bring my mind to that state. I honestly
can't.
I
said, I want to see. I'd love to see what the reactions are, but you're right. It is hard to guess because it's like I can't not know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know what I want to see because I know that those scenes will be really cool to see in motion, right? Like, I want to see the big Noble Phantasm scenes. I want to see the big speeches. I want to see World's Greatest Detective Sherlock Holmes. They better not cut that motherfucker out.
Because, I honestly can't fathom having Camelot being my first Fate experience. It's gonna be some people's. It is.
It's true. I'm more thinking about what will long-term fans of the animation and thing,
Yeah.
like people who have watched the anime or played the visual novel, but are not an FGO because some people don't know it, or some people don't want to know it, right? Like, I think there are some people who actually think that FGO is, like, quote-unquote killing the franchise, despite the fact that it is 100% not doing that. It is doing the opposite of that, technically.
Well, I mean, it's the most Fate content we're all getting. Literally.
But it's also making shitloads of money, right? Like, it is actually making the franchise able to do new shit, because it's making so much.
Yeah.
But yes, there will be people who aren't familiar with FGO's story and are more familiar with these characters, and it can be like, oh, hey, that's cool. Especially considering these are movies, they'll probably do like Heaven's Feel and do some, assuming we still have movie theaters as a business in this country, but they'll probably do some public releases, and that will be very interesting to see.
I need to...
Yes, fuck you money. I mean, that's literally true. Like, look at Babylonia. Babylonia is a perfect example of fuck you money. And it's just like, hey, you do animation, right? And you're like, yeah. Do you like Fate? Yeah, I play Fate Grand Order. Cool. Here's a bucket of money. Pick your favorite scene. Go. That's how the Babylonia anime got made.
Talking about that, I remember I have to go log into Grand Blue Fantasy, and I got 30 free draws, so let's see what I got. Cool. Let's see here. Give me something good.
Oh, interesting. I might look that up. Sometimes I like to watch people react. Sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do.
I'm not a reactions kind of guy.
I mean, I don't. If I like somebody's personality, I can stand to see them react to stuff. Like, honestly, Lucky, we're buddies, we're friends. I could probably watch Lucky react. We're not doing that, by the way. I say nothing. No. Nothing is committed. Unless you have fuck you money, don't say anything. If you want to pay us fuck you money, we'll do anything. But that requires the unlimited budget works. But
hey, Summer Narmea is on rate up, but luckily I already have Summer Narmea.
I could understand watching Lucky reacts and stuff, right? It's the same as like people watching you stream. You just have to find people's good personalities, and sometimes they're annoying. Like, sometimes I want to watch people, and I'm like, yeah, okay, shut the fuck up for a second. Right? Like, I kind of understand we do YouTube stuff, I understand the ethos, you don't want dead air, but it's kind of like, sometimes you should just shut up and let the moment play out, and then talk about it later, but whatever. So I might check that out to see what it's like, just to see if I can, SSR. if I think they're cool or not. By the way, Lucky's talking about another gacha game. Everybody drink.
Yeah.
How long have we been going? 2 hours. Let's wrap this up.
Oh, I got a summon. Heimdall to summon. Summon.
We'll edit some of this down. But thanks so much for tuning in, guys. You've been a blast. That's probably why we've been talking so much.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to wind down. So next week, there will be, obviously, the Chaldea stream, which will presumably announce the actual date, because we know it's about LostBelt 1. We'll see when the banners come out. There really should be nothing new between now and then. We'll have to see if anything in JP actually gets announced, like if there's anything weird that happens in those hunting quests, But keep your eye out for that. And obviously, if you want to hear more about other stuff, stay tuned to What's Up later in the week. And do keep your eye out. There will obviously be new wanteds for characters like Anastasia and like Ivan. And we'll bring back So You Didn't Get That 5-star for some of our other recurring ones. Like, it'll be interesting. Talking about how FGO has kind of flipped villainous characters, it'll be interesting to talk about a VK Braun, I think. Because that's a very interesting thing about him. Without talking about the details of any of this story, he is like the one constant support character. He is your anchor in LostBelt 1. He is like almost always in your support comp from like start to finish. So we're going to get a lot of that guy. And FGO does have a great trend of turning these villainous casters into good ones. You mean Will Robin? William Tell? That's not for another year. That's LostBelt 4. We're at LostBelt 1. It's a while. But I think LostBelts are pretty good at adding a 1 or 2 new silvers every run. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna cry because Asclepius is also like Salieri. He's a story lock on the second banner, and I'm like, but I don't want Arjuna Alter that much.
Yeah.
I really want to roll on the Jinako banner.
I'm not gonna lie, I want Fluffy Arjuna and Jinako, so I'm gonna be a little boned no matter what. Yeah,
well, we got a year or so. Anyway.
Oh, hey, Okay. Sorry, I'm on Twitter now, so everyone watch the fuck out.
Uh-oh. Well, let's wind up the show before he gets too deep in there.
I'm gonna start talking about titty, I see.
Yeah, I think I was just saying what we're planning on doing in the next couple of weeks. Anyway, so I will continue to say that we're wrapping up. So, hey, first of all, thank you so much for joining us live. If you did, be sure to actually pop in and check out the YouTube version when it finishes, just so, we can keep our numbers and engagement up. That's cool. Thanks so much for tuning in, though. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to give this video a like if you liked it. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below, or join our Discord. That link is in the description, and our channel page as always. That is how people are listening to the show live, and how certain levels of our patrons listen live every week. If you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you can always get our latest episodes. Let's Talk FGO, News Desk, Wanted, What's Up, whatever. APs. Watch more APs. But that's great. And hey, even if you're already subscribed, consider the bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video. And when we stream, that's the thing we do.
Mhm.
Streams happen. And often people complain about not noticing when they fire up, so double check your notifications. That's how that's actually supposed to work. And like it says at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies. And it really helps us out. You can get the audio version for as little as $1 a month right away as soon as it's done editing permanently. And it's really neat. So, yeah. All right. I think that's everything. So I think we're going to wind down the show and get up on our day, because I've got to, edit this and stuff.
Yep. Lucky out.
Bye, everybody.
Smoke bomb.